Today we have another portable space heater. This one is a unit that I essentially inherited in my office. It was a former coworker before that person had this, and I always thought it was pretty fascinating because it's one of those fake fireplace type designs. And I had come into the office previously before I used this unit and thought, I like it. It's kind of cozy and it throws off a lot of heat. There's actually two of these I know of. One is in another coworker's office. And on one of my other space heater videos, portable heaters, someone in the comments asked for more videos on portable heaters. So I do have two more after this at some point. We'll do a video on and check it out. Little different designs than these, but certainly I thought this would be a neat one to kind of show. So the thing I like about this is, and yeah, it looks like somebody tried to scrape off an information tag at one point. I never really went back and tried to clean it off, but maybe that is something that I'll do since I'm really liking this, and we'll continue to use it in the winter time. It's now March as the filming of this video, so probably not too much more here in the Midwest with use of this video or I should say this heater for this time of year. But what I really enjoy with this thing is it looks like it's cast iron. It looks solid, right? And it actually really is solid, but it's fairly light, and as you can imagine, it's easy to move, but it doesn't feel as cheaply made as a lot of today's plastic appliances. And I do feel, and I stated this in one of my other videos, that I feel like when it comes to heaters, they have to still make them with some degree of quality, just because of the heat they throw off from a safety standpoint. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of horrible, cheap plasticky heaters out there, but I think for the most part, if you compare space heaters to, say, an oscillator fan that's built today, or even a window fan, box fan, the quality is still a little bit better in the space heaters than it is in the fans, because the fans, again, they don't heat up and get that hot, so they don't have to worry about things melting. So let's take a quick look at this. I did search for an information tag, and there really isn't anything. So we'll turn it around. At best, you just see a risk of electrical shock. There's no user serviceable parts inside, and then there's a serial number. But I flipped this thing upside down. There's no label underneath, and so I don't know the model number. If anyone has something like this or know what brand it is, that would be kind of interesting for me to know. And that's the only weird thing I don't like about this is there's no, actually we will take a look. There is no information when it comes to a model number and brand of this unit. You can see it's a little dirty underneath. I've never serviced this thing since it's been here. Probably what I'll do when I'm done with it for the season, even though technically it belongs to my company, I'll still take care of it because I think it's a good piece that should be around for a while. Yeah, so anyone who has an idea of what the brand is, I'm less interested in knowing the model number than more so knowing the brand. That would be really cool to know. Maybe when we open the door and take a closer look, maybe there's some clue in there. Other than flipping it on and off, I really haven't looked too closely inside. The no serviceable part warning in the back. I have not really, short of cleaning a filter or taking some dust off a portable fan, I have not really, or portable heater, I have not really opened one up before. So anyone in the comments who has experience, does non-serviceable really mean that, or is it just a, hey, we don't want to get sued, so we're going to put this label on there? Would be interesting to hear from you guys. So I'm going to open the door, and I'll show you the different settings, and I'll also show you another reason why I like this. Do I like it because it has fake wood? Well, it is a nice ambiance thing. What I like here is you have different settings from a thermostat. You have the flame intensity, which is neat. I thought I had that set all the way, which I think I did. Yeah, I had that set all the way because it's just a cool effect. The flame, really, when you flip the flame, that's really turning it on. And then heating, and then turbo, which are clearly marked as on. Now, I just flip it on and off. Really, no big deal. But I suppose if you wanted just the ambiance of the flame but no heat, you could do that, which is kind of interesting. I think if maybe you had this in your home for the ambiance, that makes a lot of sense to do, right? And then turbo. I really haven't messed with turbo in terms of turning it on and off. Like, does turbo, if you don't have it on, does it just take it longer to heat up? And does turbo, make it faster, bring it up to temperature quicker? If I had a thermometer with me, or a thermistor, or a sensor with me, we could take a look at that and measure how fast. The other thing too, which I don't have with me, is my essentially kilowatt meter, or my meter, so we could see by using turbo on and off how much of a draw or difference that makes. That might be interesting to do one day. So I'm just gonna turn it on, and if I didn't comment, the second reason I said I like this thing a lot is because these are like legit switches. They're not digital electronic buttons. On one of the space heaters I did the other day, or recently, the Polonus tower, the tower model, everything's digital and it has those digital buttons and they beep when you press them. Very typical of modern type appliances. So we're gonna turn this on. Right away, you hear the flame, or you see the flame, and you feel the heat coming out the bottom here, right? You probably hear that rattle. As long as I've known this heater for, I would say, almost 8 years now. So I don't know how old this is. It's got to be somewhere between 8, at most 12 years old, I believe. But it's always made that kind of rattle. There's another one just like this, as I spoke before, doesn't make the rattle. So maybe if I try to service it in some way, I can eliminate that. And no, it's not the table that it's on making that rattle, because it's typically on the floor, on the carpet. So if we shut the door, here's what it looks like. And I'm gonna turn off the lights, or dim the lights for a moment, so you can get an idea of the flame a little bit better. So that looks pretty nice, right? So I could see how one would maybe just want the flame on. And this is why I really like this. Aside from the cabinet itself being pretty rugged or solid for a newer piece of equipment. But if we open it back up, I like that the buttons are illuminated. So if we turn off heat, see, really cool. No heat, but you still have the ambiance of the fire. What I'm wondering, and maybe somebody can tell me, is this just LED lighting up the fake wood and the flames in the back? What kind of bulbs does it use? And now, are the bulbs, do they burn out? I know allegedly LEDs last for 1 billion years, but would be curious to hear from one of you guys if you know more about it. So let's, last thing we can do here, I'm not really gonna mess with I guess we could mess with the flame. This is the lowest setting. Somebody throw a log on, please. And that's the brightest. So that would of course be why I would have it that way. And then thermostat, well, obviously, if I'm cold, I want it to heat up as fast as possible. So I just leave it as hot as it could go. Now let's let's try it without the turbo and see what happens. Maybe we lose that rattling sound. No. It's audibly the same. Let's see what happens if I, and the air is warm. It's not like melt my flesh off my hand hot. Let's see if we hit turbo. Oh yeah, it's noticeably way hotter. Way hotter. Whoa, yeah. It's tough to keep my hand there. And it's true, when I do run this thing for a while at my office, it's usually I turn it on or I turn it off because it's just easy to flip that button. I really don't adjust the thermostat for comfort or the turbo. Maybe I should do that and try to regulate the temperature more versus just turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. And if I use it, I don't even use it every day in the winter. I might use it when I come in the morning after it's cold outside, just have it on for a half hour, turn it off, and maybe some point in the afternoon turn it back on again. As we know, it gets dark earlier in the afternoon, so maybe sometimes later in the afternoon as the sun's going down, it's getting cooler outside, I'll turn it on. So that's the deal with this thing. And again, I think it, not only is it very functional, it's not an eyesore. You know, if you want the ambiance, if you want something that's decorative, it looks like a piece of furniture, I would recommend this. The trouble is, as I said before, I do not know the brand. I do not know the model number, nor do I know where this was purchased. I think, like I said, I'm in the Midwest. I believe this was purchased in possibly North Carolina somewhere from a retailer. It was at an old office location that no longer exists, and then made its way to this location. So here's what we got. Please like my video, subscribe, and I would certainly enjoy any comments from any of you guys who can tell me more about this. And stay tuned, as I have at least 2 more heater videos, portable heater videos I can potentially do based on units that I have. So let's stay tuned for the next one, and see you around.